Hello everyone and welcome to the Kukulli Bushcraft channel. Okay, so Mil-Tec 2-person igloo tent, €30, really cheap, really light, 1.8 kilos if I remember rightly. It feels a lot lighter actually, and yeah, is it worth actually buying a €30 tent? Well, let's find out. Okay, so it's going dark. It's raining. Thankfully this thing is really quite easy to set up. I've got the camera underneath a very rudimentary kind of shelter, and let's see how we do. Right. So the one issue I've had with this, oh, the light's not great, I'm sorry. One of these actually tore out, so I've had to repair that in the field, which wasn't really an issue because I had because I had a repair kit on hand, a little bit of glue. Also, these holes, they only fit the little crappy tent pegs that come with the tent. So if you want to use larger, better tent pegs, you could add it with a bit of paracord. Oh God. So the main ventilation is a little mesh panel right in the top, like a little chimney, which is covered by a hat, which you obviously don't need to put on, as if it's not raining. What do you think, Uni? Uni hates it. Okay, so that was a little bit more faff than normal. I had problems with these things bunching up here, where the joins in the poles are, catching on there, and I think it was mostly because I was in a hurry. So we've got guy lines that attach to those points, little removable hat. With it being a single skin tent, the big issue is condensation. It's fine in warm weather, but yeah, once it starts to get a bit cold, then you do get a fair bit of condensation on the inside. Yeah, mosquito net. Joins up in the middle there with 3 zips. Uni's found if she puts her nose in there, she can make herself a nice Alaskan husky size hole that she can squeeze through. Yeah, there it is. And look where we are. Here I am inside with a wet dog. At least it stopped raining. I have camped in this thing in the rain and it's done absolutely fine. I have taken to sleep in at 45 degrees, which wouldn't work with 2 people, but that way I keep the foot of my sleeping bag away from the walls, which get quite a bit of condensation on them when it's colder. We've got tie outs there for the to keep the doors open. There's a nice little hook in the ceiling, in the roof, which well, I guess it's for hanging a lantern off. I've got my head torch there, so it's easy to find if I should need it in the dark. And yeah, I think that's all the filming for today. Good night.
One summer's use I've had out of this tent so far. So it's had a few overnighters and 1 week-long hike.
So is it worth buying a €30 tent? Well, I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing I would have used. In fact, I'd have been happy with this when I was young, because back then cheap tents used to be a lot heavier. Yeah, and I think if you buy one of these, you're going to have to make some repairs. I think, yeah, I think it's going to end up being mostly duct tape or tenacious tape. That's something. That's a brand that I like for little repairs on tents, Gore-Tex, fabrics, things like that. But yeah, as if you need a lot of tents for something like a scout group, or you know, I mean, I basically just bought this to use for a few nights in the summer. I've ended up using it a lot more, just to keep the mosquitoes off. I'm a tarp user usually. I always prefer to wake up with a view rather than in a stuffy little tent, especially with condensation, which you get with these modern lighter tents, unless it's really seriously warm. Obviously I'm in the Arctic. It rarely gets warm. Oh, oh, have you brought me a present? Have you brought me a present? Delightful. Uni, you take that over there. Well, so I hope you found this video useful, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, drop us a comment, especially if you've had any experience with one of these tents, or something similar. In general, if you're going to use a tent a lot, I'd recommend you spend a little bit more money than €30. But this so far has been perfectly fine, apart from the little repair I've had to do on the tie out. Thanks for watching everybody, and bye for now.